Three men have been charged in relation to a bank robbery that took place yesterday evening at approximately 5 p.m. on Wednesday, November 26, 2014. Police were called to the Bank of Montreal in the 2300 block of 4th Street Southwest for reports of a robbery at the bank. Containment was set up to ensure the safety of those nearby, while CPS officers determined if any suspects remained in the bank. It is believed that the suspects may have used a firearm during the offense and that the staff remained locked within a room inside the bank during the robbery. Three men fled the scene. After a short-foot chase, they were all arrested. Employees of the bank were safely evacuated at approximately 9 p.m., and the Victims Assistance Unit were called out to provide support. No major injuries occurred as a result of the incident. However, one victim in the bank did have a minor injury and was assessed by EMS. Lucas Windsor, 21 years of age, Salim Nasri, 21 years of age, and Matthew Valdez, 23 years of age, all of Calgary, have each been charged with one count of disguise with intent to commit robbery, 7 counts of forcible confinement, 7 counts of robbery using a firearm, 1 count of possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose. They will appear in court on November 28, 2014 at 0900 hours in courtroom 305. The investigation continues by the robbery unit, and anyone who may have information about this incident is asked to call police at 403-266-1234 or contact Crime Stoppers.
Now, did the 3 suspects, did they lock the employees in the room, or did the employees lock themselves in the room?
They were, the employees were placed into a room by verbal demand, and they were then, after the suspects fled the bank, the CPS had constant communication with the bank employees before we entered.
It's kind of unusual, at least from past bank robbery incidents, to have more than one individual involved. Did this seem like it was sort of planned, or was it well thought out?
It appears to be planned because they came prepared. They were disguised. There were three suspects. They went to the bank with the intention of robbing the bank. As you stated before, a lot of robberies, bank robberies, are more low profile, where the suspect goes in and passes a note or gives a verbal demand. While the incident last night was very dynamic, where they went in there to the bank and their intention was to rob the bank, and they advised the staff that this was a robbery.
So did you mention they were wielding guns or weapons during the incident? Were any of the customers or staff threatened at all?
Out of the 3 suspects, that there was firearms involved, and that's why for the charge there is a charge of robbery with a firearm.
Was there one firearm or more than one?
That's part of our investigation. We have recovered 1 firearm, but our investigation is ongoing still.
Do you know what kind of firearm it was?
It was a CO2 pellet gun.
Okay.
Was the firearm on the person or was it ditched?
We arrested a suspect with the firearm.
Now, why did it take so long for the bank employees to be free from the bank?
Well, I think just to be on the safe side, because at the time this occurred, we had no idea how many suspects there were. I mean, it's possible there were suspects outside. There could have been more suspects inside the bank hiding. We did not want a hostage situation, so that's why before we entered, we wanted to make sure that there was no one else in the bank except the victims.
Are these 3 in custody? Are they known to police?
I can't really divulge that at this time.
Was there a vehicle involved in that situation?
That's part of our investigation, was to try to determine that.
How many people were locked in the room? 7?
There were 7 employees, yes.
Did they get away with any money or did they leave before taking
There was money recovered at the scene. Yes,
How much?
I can't say.
Can you talk about if it's rare to have 3 people robbing a bank at one time?
That's uncommon. I mean, as I stated before, a lot of the bank robberies it's usually one suspect. There may be someone outside, like a getaway driver. But for this incident last night, it is uncommon to have 3 suspects that go into the bank all at once and to be disguised and to make it like a dynamic entry.
You said that the heist was well planned. Are you prepared to talk about exactly how well planned that was? Like, was it just a matter of going in, waving guns and leaving, or was there? I noticed one that was wearing what looked like reflective pants. Was it? Would you say this was probably one of the more well planned robberies that you found?
Well, when I mean well planned, I mean they came prepared. When I mean come prepared, they have weapons and they also were disguised. That to me is they were planning the robbery.
And the disguises, I don't know if you can mention exactly what the disguise were. Were they just sort of Halloween mask kind of thing, or was it more complex?
No, they had their faces covered, toots.
What were they covered with?
Sorry?
What were they covered with?
They had faces covered toots and balaclavas.
So when you say money was recovered at the scene, do you mean was the money recovered after the foot chase of these guys, or like was the money recovered outside or inside the bank?
There was money recovered inside and outside the bank.
I think you may have just said weapons as in plural. So were there any other weapons involved other than the CO2 handgun?
And that's what we're still trying to determine. We have recovered one weapon. We had our search and rescue team out last night to do a grid search to see if we can recover if there are weapons out there. But due to the weather, it was snowing quite heavily. We didn't come up with any other weapon.
The 3 suspects you have in custody, is that it, or are there other suspects you're looking for?
And that's a part of our investigation. We're confident that the 3 we have in custody were the 3 that were in the bank.
Who made the call to police? Was it an employee in the bank?
No, there was a witness that was outside the bank and saw what happened and then called police.
And when you say saw what happened, was a note passed or these 3 people ran in with your guns? You just want to describe a little bit more about the scene in the bank?
All I can say is that the 3 suspects did a pretty dynamic entry into the bank, and from there they demanded money, and they confined the employees in the bank, and then they ran out the back door of the bank to make their escape.
Can you elaborate on all what a dynamic entry
Exactly.
what does that mean?
Well, as I said before, most bank robberies are very low profile. They walk in, they pass a note demanding money, or they verbally say, I want money. And usually when the robbery, after the robbery occurs and the bank robbery leaves, a lot of people, if there's customers in the bank, they may not even know a robbery occurred. What I mean dynamic is that when these suspects went to the bank, the employees were advised that this is a robbery. So there was no hiding anything, that they came and they made their demands known that it was a robbery.
How soon did police show up? Did police kind of interrupt them in the act, or had they escaped before the first officers arrived on scene?
For the police to get into a foot chase, the police arrived shortly after.
So you attribute the quick response to sort of foiling their plan?
Yes, and I'd just like to say kudos and thank you to the witness who had the courage to call police to let us know that there's a robbery in progress.
How soon after were they like they fled, and then was it minutes or 10 or 15? How soon after that they got caught, the suspects?
I would say within minutes.
Were any of the employees confined or handcuffed or tied up or taped up, or were they all just free walking around in a room or whatever?
Some of them were tied up with zip ties. Yes,
What type of ties?
zip ties.
Zip ties.
Can you tell us if the police recovered a plane ticket for one of the suspects?
Not that I know of, no.
How many uniforms were in the location yesterday for the situation?
There were numerous. Top of my head, I don't know how many, but there were lots of police officers, yes.
Why did you bring the APC up to the scene?
Because again, it was something where we didn't know what we had. We didn't know, was it a possible hostage situation? Could there have been, we didn't even know how many offenders were, or how many suspects were involved. That's why the tactical unit was involved.
Anything else?
Was it, was the K-9 unit used for apprehension of these?
The K-9 unit was at the scene, but I do not believe that the dogs were involved in arresting the suspects.
How many people other than the employees?
There were no customers in the bank at the time.